What up? It's your boy Wall Street, and I'm back again. Thank you all for tuning in. And today I want to talk about restricted free agents because restricted free agents in the NBA are not doing well. They're just not doing well. Because if you had asked me, I would have told you by September of 2025, Josh Giddey, Cam Thomas, Quentin Grimes, and Jonathan Kuminga would all be signed, right? The fact of the matter is that none of them are signed right now. And restricted free agency has become a thing that is just not good for players in the league anymore. I mean, the teams have all the leverage, it seems like. So there's a couple of reasons why this is the case. Number one is just the new collective bargaining agreement with the rules that it imposes for going over certain, tax levels and apron levels is quite strict, and teams just don't want to do that. So teams just don't have the cap space, right? So you see a lot of guys that would be entering restricted free agency actually sign extensions early with their teams as opposed to entering the free agent market, right? So these guys that, I mentioned, like Josh Giddey, Jonathan Kuminga, Cam Thomas, Quentin Grimes, they don't really know what they want to do, right? But the thing with restricted free agents that's different from unrestricted free agents is a restricted free agent can go out and essentially sign with any other team, right? But what they do is they sign an offer sheet, which their, incumbent team, right, the team that they're currently on, has the rights to match any offer, right? But they have to match that offer sheet. So not only are teams in this free agency market not giving those offer sheets out, that's it. So these players have no leverage, right? Like they can't, like Josh Giddey can't go to, the Los Angeles Clippers or the Dallas Mavericks or, the Houston Rockets and be like, hey, like I want $30 million a year. Because first of all, they're not going to give it to him. So, that's just not going to work, right? And you hear like some of these guys, like Jonathan Kuminga, he wants $25 million a year. Josh Giddey wants $30 million a year, right? And that's not so unreasonable with how the league has grown in terms of the finances that are going out to players in terms of their salaries. But still, if the market isn't telling you that that's what you're worth, which clearly that's what's going on, you're not going to get that money, right? So I think, honestly, what's going to happen with all of these guys is they're probably just going to sign deals with their current teams, right? Which really sucks for a guy like Jonathan Kuminga, who has clearly got a lot of talent. He's not utilized the way that he should be utilized on this team in the Golden State Warriors. And it's just a mess, right? Like, just let the guy go somewhere else. But at this point, it's like, they really have the leverage, right? So a thing that these guys can also do, the players, is they can sign a qualifying offer, which essentially means you're signing a one-year deal. And I think the qualifying offer is worth it's like $8 million, $9 million. It's not like a ton of money for what these guys are really expecting, going into their second NBA contract. Because usually, rookies have, a rookie scale deal. And then that first contract after your rookie deal is usually a much bigger contract for most guys around the league, especially if you have starting potential. You have all-star potential. Like, guys are getting crazy paydays on their second NBA deals. So a lot of these guys, though, are not going to opt to do qualifying offers because there's just so much unpredictability, right? Like, what if you sign that qualifying offer and then after that, you can be an unrestricted free agent, right? Once you have that one season. But what if you get injured and then your value tanks, right? What if the team just doesn't play you and your value tanks, right? What if you get traded to a different team because now you have a more attractive salary, right? Jonathan Kuminga getting paid $8 or $9 million is a player that, teams would want to pick up in the trade market because he doesn't have a huge salary. He would be an unrestricted free agent in the summer of 2026, but can he help your team? If he can help your team, a lot of guys around the league that are running front offices are going to be like, all right, let's trade for him. So there's a lot of different things here, but it's just free agency for restricted free agents is not it's really just not doing it anymore. It's just the limited cap space, the reluctance of teams to, give guys these offer sheets. And just, the majority of these restricted free agents are signing extensions before they even have the chance to hit free agency because they want to just lock up money long term, right? Just gives you more safety, right? And if you can get that extension rather than having to go through the whole free agency process, you get to go through the summers having, being signed to a team, you can use their facilities, all that stuff. Why not do it? So if I had to guess, like I said, they're all probably going to wind up on the teams that they ended this past season with, but it sucks for Jonathan Kuminga, dude. I really just hope he's able to get out of Golden State because it's clearly just not working. They clearly don't really want to put a lot of, I don't want to say faith because I think they do think that he can play to some extent, but it's just like he's not fitting what they want to do, and just figure out how to get him to go elsewhere, man. Like, find someone else on the trade market that you'll utilize, right? So, I don't know. But restricted free agency has been rough, to say the least. But I want to know what you guys think, man. Where do you think, these guys, Josh Giddey, Quentin Grimes, Cam Thomas, Jonathan Kuminga, where do you think these guys are going to end up next season? And when do you think we'll actually see them get signed? We're getting close to the start of training camp. Preseason's going to start at the beginning of October. We're less than 2 months out from the start of the NBA season. And some of these major names going into free agency are still on the board. So let me know what you guys think, man. I'm going to catch you guys later. Stay up, stay blessed, stay safe, stay humble, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.